even at TCA, when we went to TCA, both of us, we could still work on that stuff, and we're in different rooms of the convention center and be able to work on those things from remote, and be able to, without having to call each other, hey, I got this ticket, we can just cross them out and do it. It's been a good collaborative thing for us. Right, but the sharing feature is the killer feature for Google Docs. I can give people, like for this person, if I wanted to revoke access or just make them where they can view, I can even make them the owner. If I make them the owner, then they can go and start sharing that document with somebody else. As the viewer, they would just be able to see what other people have done. I can add as many people as I want to that. Right up here at the top, you have see revision history. Along the side, I have all of the different changes that have been made to this document. So you can see it today at 10:50, I created the document. This is what it looked like. And then at 10:52, this person added, hi everyone. So at 11 o'clock, this is added. And then right now, this is what it currently looks like. I can revert back to one of those. So if I don't like what one person has added, I can click on that one, and then right here, I can change back to that revision. So that's kind of a cool feature. You can see everything that's been changed. One way I use this, before I was technology director, in between my math days, I was a junior high counselor and a technology person for 2 years. So I had to make the master schedule for the junior high. I put it in a Google Apps spreadsheet, or Google Docs spreadsheet, and I gave all of my junior high teachers access to it. So when April came along and I was working on that master schedule, I sent them an email saying, hey, if you want to see me build the schedule today, these next couple days, you can watch. And they could all see me live as I was making the schedule. So, and every change that I've made was tracked in Google Docs. I even had teachers commenting saying, hey, I liked what you had before, but don't make that one change. I like where my conference was, or whatever. So that was kind of a cool way to do it. Of course, I didn't give them editing privileges. So this is what the spreadsheet looks like. Of course, it doesn't have as many of the power features as what Excel has, but they're adding stuff all the time. It has pretty much any formula you can think of. I think it doesn't have pivot tables. So for some of the power user features of Excel, you may want to use Excel, but I have not found anything I've personally needed in Excel that I haven't had here. What I like about this is I can go home and not have to carry a jump drive or whatever. I can go home and still use this spreadsheet and add things to it from my house without having to transport things. And then go to whatever computer I need to be able to get onto it. So it looks very similar to Excel. Of course, you can do your graphs and charts if you want, just like you would with Excel. Once you put your data in, you can select all the different charts and have that there. One of the neatest features, though, and there's actually a session on this later today that I saw on the board that talks about just Google Forms. I'm going to briefly mention it and kind of show you some of the cool stuff, but I recommend going to that one if you want to learn more about the forms. Under Create New, and this is a version of a spreadsheet because all of the data goes into a spreadsheet when you fill out a form. When I create a new form, I think of it as like a questionnaire or a quiz. I can actually have have the result into this, and it puts it into a spreadsheet. So let me make a real fast one here, and I'll show you what it looks like. What is the capital? And I'm going to make this a multiple choice if I have computers in my classroom, or if I want parents to go and take this later, or if I want to email it out and say, hey, I'm collecting some information, will you please help me by filling out this quick questionnaire? I can do that. So what I'm going to do is click on that, and I'm going to short it real fast. I want a few people to go and fill it out for me. So it's bit.ly JMUQO. Copy that. Make sure it's saved. Yep. So one more time. bit.ly/JMUQO. What that will take you to is what this looks like, the capitals test that I've quickly created. Now I can answer this. Again, you don't have to, for this to be, you can require them to log in, but this does not require you to log in. So anybody can take this without having to have a Google account. Cheyenne is the capital of Wyoming, and Austin, I'm going to answer this one wrong though. San Antonio is the capital of Texas. I'm going to submit. Now I can customize all of this. So even the response that says, thanks, your response has been recorded. I could say, thank you for taking my capitals test. You know, your response is greatly valued. Whatever you want to put there. And then right here, go back to the form. So I can go back to the original form and then submit it again if I wanted. The way one of my teachers used this is on the open house night. They have several computers in their classroom, 3 or 4. They created their parent information request and had this form up on every computer to where the parents come in and ask them, what is your name? What is your cell phone number? What is your email address? Any information they wanted for their elementary classroom, they collected, and that all gets put into a spreadsheet that they share with their first grade team. So that was a really cool way of doing that, and they got a lot of information that way that they wouldn't have been able to get otherwise, or been hard to get. So let's see what that looks like in spreadsheet form. You can see that there's only been one response, and Cheyenne and San Antonio, and it even puts a timestamp. So it puts a column for each question that I've asked, and it's put a timestamp on what it is. Now, if you had required that they put their log in with their username, there would be another column for who answered this test. So if all of your students have a Gmail account, you can require that they log in, and it would say Matt Johnson filled out at this time, for that. So you can require a username or you cannot. Now the coolest thing about this is it adds a section under that spreadsheet called form, and then you can go back and edit your form. So if I click that, I can go and add questions if I want to. So later on, I want to use this again. I can go and add stuff to it, and then send it out to the students again, or parents, or however I want. So that spreadsheet that teachers used last year to collect that teacher information, they've actually added to it and used it 2 years in a row, and be able to get it again. Also under form, you can see that it's got a 1. That means I have one response. I can click go to live form. I can embed this form in a web page. So if you have a web page for your classroom, it'll give you an embed code where if they go to your classroom page, they'll see the form and it's embedded to where they don't have to go to a separate link. What I like though is to show the summary of responses. I think this is really cool. That's for quick, if you have your students where they have computers, or they can do this on an iPad or iPod Touch, you can have this up on your board and just kind of show the results of that quick survey you've done. Or have the students go to the computers and just quickly answer some questions. And then have this on the board. Well, 100% of you thought that Cheyenne was the capital. And then of course there's more and more people answered, which will separate that pie chart. And then on San Antonio, 100% thought that San Antonio was capital of Texas. So some quick feedback for your students.
Is there a limit to the size of the document?
No, you can get very expansive on this form. You're talking about how many questions?
Just in general on Google Docs, like even in the presentation, there's not a limit to the size.
Not that I've found. And I've created presentations that have many, many, many slides. And just to test that, I've never reached a limit.
And can you download and save those?
I'll show you that. Under each document, that's a good question. Can you download? You can go up to File, and you can say Download As. I can download that spreadsheet as a Excel, OpenOffice, or PDF. So if I want to get that and actually pull this results into Excel, maybe do some more, more extensive Excel stuff on it, I can download this as an Excel file. Let me do download as. And you'll see in Chrome it's downloaded as capitalstest.sls. So now I have that in Excel. Google Docs also allows you to upload a revision. And let's see if they still have that. They may have taken that away. They have where you can actually download it and then upload the changes that you've made. So if you want to send it to somebody and they send it back to you, you can put it back into Google Docs. You can also right here under Share, if you click the arrow, you can email as an attachment to where if you know somebody doesn't have Google Docs, but you want them to get that as an attachment, I can say I want to attach this file as an Excel or as a PDF and just type in their email address and put the message and hit send, and it goes to them as that file you've requested. So if you have some information that you say, well, I really need to send this to a parent or I need to send this to an administrator, but they don't use Google Docs, you can send it to them as a PDF or Excel right in this program without having to first save it and then go out. They've also added drawings under Google Docs. I'm not the most artistic person in the world, but I'll attempt to show you some things. Just basic, drawing stuff. I'm sure people could find a pretty good use for this. You have your shapes, you have your different lines. Those drawings can be embedded in the document part of Google Docs. So if you create a drawing, you can then put that drawing inside a Google document or Excel. And those can be shared and collaborated with other, worked on by other people. Let me show you calendar. Any questions on Google, the document part, before I move on to more of the calendar features?
Can you have people participate in it, but keep them from being able to save it for themselves?
You can either make them editors or viewers. If you make them an editor, then that change will be saved. So there's no way of having it where they can just make changes temporarily. You can always go back to an earlier revision before they made those changes.
Is there a way to track their answers, almost like a Survey Monkey replacement or something?
If you require a login. Okay. Yeah, because on that form, and I'll show you real fast.
I'm thinking, for the test, for example, if you were to do a quiz, is there a way to track?
Yes, because right here it says require Chapel ISD to sign in to view this form. You can check that, or automatically collect the respondent's Chapel ISD username. So if that student is already logged in with their Google account, it'll just collect who they were logged in as on that machine. So you can either require them to log in first, or put their username in, or it'll just collect whoever's ever on that machine. So that's you could ask their name,